Well, what a game for the Indiana Fever. They came up with the victory against the Lynx in the Commissioner's Cup.
The Indiana Fever are sipping the sweet nectar of the Commissioner's Cup.
The Indiana Fever just put the beats on the Minnesota Lynx.
The Indiana Fevers are the only women's champions this season, so everybody can shut it up.
They weren't just expected to lose, they were expected to get embarrassed. No Caitlin Clark, no leadership, no momentum. Just a broken, battered team heading into the Lions' Den with nothing but doubt on their shoulders. The Indiana Fever weren't walking into a basketball game. They were walking into a massacre. Caitlin Clark, the rookie phenom and face of the league, out with a groin injury. DeWanna Bonner, the veteran brought in to stabilize the locker room, she bailed mid-season. And the opponent? The Minnesota Lynx, defending champs, playing at home, fully loaded, hungry, and ready to destroy. Vegas had the Fever as 14-point underdogs. The media had already written the headline. Fans were preparing for a blowout. Even some Fever fans had lost hope. This wasn't supposed to be a game, it was supposed to be a funeral. But then, something happened, and what unfolded next shocked the entire WNBA.
The Fever went on a run. They did not allow the Lynx to score for over 8 minutes.
Let's be clear, this wasn't just a tough matchup. This was a death sentence. The Minnesota Lynx weren't just in form, they were obliterating teams. 14 wins, just 2 losses. They had the best record in the WNBA, were playing on their home court, and were coming off a championship season like it was nothing. And leading them, Napheesa Collier, the MVP frontrunner, a walking bucket and defensive nightmare who was playing the best basketball of her career. She wasn't just dominating, she was demoralizing opponents. The Lynx weren't hoping to win, they were preparing to crush. Meanwhile, Indiana was spiraling. Their leader, Caitlin Clark, still sidelined. Their chemistry, gone. They'd lost 3 of their last 5 games and were barely recognizable without their superstar. And that leadership veteran the team brought in, gone. Walked out on the squad mid-season. Analysts called it a joke matchup. Commentators were predicting a 20-point blowout before the game even started. Even Vegas gave Indiana a 14-point spread, a number that usually signals annihilation. And here's the kicker. ESPN had already prepared a highlight reel before the game even started. The title? Lynx dominate Fever to win Commissioner's Cup. Let that sink in. The narrative was written. The ending? Signed and sealed. Or so they thought. If you were one of the few people who believed in the Fever going into this game, drop a fire emoji in the comments right now, because what happened next? You deserve your moment. In the days leading up to the game, Indiana looked completely lost. They were squandering leads, turning the ball over, playing selfish basketball. Aaliyah Boston, arguably the best big on the team, was barely getting touches. She'd establish position in the post, call for the ball, and get ignored while her teammates jacked up contested threes. The energy was gone. The confidence was shattered. Their coach, Stephanie White, could only hope they'd find something, anything, to hold on to. And then they did. Stephanie White has a motto, just 4 words: pressure is a privilege. That wasn't just a slogan. That was the heartbeat of the locker room. No Caitlin Clark, no veteran leadership, no one giving them a shot. They had no star, no safety net, no respect. All they had left was each other. And that was enough. From the moment the ball went up, something felt off. But in the best way possible. This wasn't the panicked, broken Indiana team we'd seen in recent games. This was a team with fire in their eyes and revenge in their veins. They moved with purpose. They attacked the paint. They rotated on defense like their lives depended on it. Every loose ball, every rebound, every possession, they fought like it was their last. And suddenly, it was the Lynx who looked stunned. The crowd, expecting a coronation, sat silent. The media had no words. Even Napheesa Collier looked rattled, because Indiana didn't show up to participate. They showed up to win. They weren't just playing better, they were playing with a chip on their shoulder the size of the entire league. And as the first quarter ended, one thing became crystal clear. The Fever weren't here for a moral victory. They were here to flip the entire script. But what happened next? Nobody was ready for it. The headlines said they couldn't do it without Caitlin. Kelsey Mitchell had other plans. From the very first possession, she came out swinging, slashing through defenders, pulling up from deep, setting the tone with an edge you could feel through the screen. She didn't just fill Clark's shoes, she lit the court on fire. This wasn't about stats, it was about attitude. Mitchell looked like a player who'd been overlooked for too long, and now the whole world was watching her cook. And then, enter Aaliyah Boston. The moment she started getting touches in her sweet spots, it was like flipping a switch. The Lynx defense had no answer. Boston went full beast mode. 12 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists, and total dominance in the paint. Every time she caught the ball down low, she made them pay. Every rebound, she ripped out of the air like it belonged to her. She didn't just show up. She made a statement. I'm still that problem, and I'm not going anywhere. The Fever weren't surviving without Caitlin. They were thriving, and just when Minnesota thought it couldn't get worse, it did. Be honest. Were you one of the people counting them out? Or did you believe the Fever could pull this off? Sound off in the comments. We're keeping receipts. But the MVP? That belonged to Natasha Howard. 16 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 8 for 8 from the free throw line. Absolute dominance on both ends. She hounded Collier all night, forced 5 turnovers, and completely disrupted Minnesota's flow. And it wasn't just the starters. Sophie Cunningham came off the bench and torched the Lynx with 13 points and 7 rebounds. Aari McDonald returned to the lineup like she never left. 12 points, full of confidence. Lexi Hull made clutch plays that don't always show on the stat sheet, but absolutely matter. This wasn't a one-woman show. It was a war, and the entire squad went to battle. Offense wins games. Defense wins respect. And Indiana's defense, it broke the Lynx. They held Minnesota to just 39 points over the final 3 quarters, forced ugly shots, shut down passing lanes, rotated perfectly, and when the home crowd roared back in the 4th quarter, cutting the lead to just 7, the Fever responded with ice in their veins. Boston, McDonald, Mitchell, buckets, silence. That killer instinct showed up right when they needed it most, and that silence in Target Center, it was deafening. After the game, the celebration was wild, but one moment stood out. Cameras caught Caitlin Clark in the locker room, holding the Commissioner's Cup trophy, dancing, laughing, cheering with her teammates. Then she dropped the line. Everybody in the league is sick. 6 words. That's all it took. Was it a joke, a jab, a truth bomb? Didn't matter. It hit hard. Because whether people want to admit it or not, jealousy has followed Clark all year. From subtle shade to open hostility, she's taken heat from every direction. And now, she didn't even play, and her team still dominated. Clark didn't say it to gloat. She said it to remind the league. We're coming. This wasn't just a win. It was a message to the media, to the fans, to the entire WNBA. You counted us out. You were wrong. Minnesota's coach, Cheryl Reeve, kept it real after the loss. They just beat us. No excuses, no sugarcoating. Indiana proved they belong. And more importantly, they proved they can win without their biggest star. When Clark returns, this team becomes terrifying. They've tasted what it's like to win under pressure. They've learned to trust each other. They've been through chaos, controversy, and injury, and came out the other side stronger. This is a team built for 2025 and beyond. They're deeper, tougher, more dangerous than anyone thought. And the best part? They're just getting started. If you support the Fever, comment below. I've got the Fever. Like this video, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a moment. The next chapter is coming, and trust me, you won't want to miss it.